Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Zelkenon. So this is another Smite super builds. Somebody in the comments asked for a Anhur build. And every time I get asked to do a hunter build, the thing with hunters, they're pretty much all the same as far as how to build them. I mean, some are, you can argue that they're a little bit different. You can use a little bit more different items like Transcendence versus Heartseeker and vice versa and whatnot. But I'm just going to go ahead and do this build just so I can say I've done it, and hopefully this helps, and maybe I can give some different tips I haven't done in previous hunter build videos. So what's cool thing about Anhur, he has the highest overall damage output. His base damage is higher than any other hunter. His attack speed is a little bit slower, and he also has one of the highest HP per level as far as the hunters. So he's used quite often for competitive use. And let's go over the items. So actives for all hunters, typically you want to get purification beads and greater sprint. Those are the top two to get, because hunters really lack the CC immunity, and some may even lack escape, but most of the time they have either a leap, a dash, something of that nature, but sprint's always nice to have. But mainly purification beads is one of the first actives you definitely want to have. But if you're fine without it, then I'll go ahead and get sprint first, but it's all personal preference as far as actives. Boots, always get the warrior tabby. No need for the ninja. We need as much damage output since we are the carry as the hunter. So the penetration, we're really going to need that. But the thing for conquest, you want to start with like either Death's Toll. Death's Toll is the typical meta for starting item for the hunters in the duo lane. So start off with that, and then towards mid to late game sell that later for your last item, which is typically Deathbringer. But if you're not in conquest, just get the standard warrior tabby boots. When I personally do assault, when I just randomly get like Artemis or whatever in assault, I typically get Aussie. Aussie works really well all game for hunters. Mainly is because it doesn't have damage output or just sheer damage points, but it does give you penetration, which in a way acts as damage, but mainly for the amount of life steal you get, so you can have a higher sustain in assault. But I've seen some people go with Shin size, and finished watching the patch notes, and Shin's size is going to be changed. It's going to be reverted to how Shin's blades was. So if I read correctly, it was 5% of your maximum, of your target's maximum HP. So if you look at the item shop right now, right here, right now it's damage equal to the missing HP, and now it's going to be their maximum HP if everything stays the same from what I watched in the patch notes. So just keep that in mind. Next, typically hunters and conquest, at least, they get stack items. I've mentioned this before in other hunter build videos. Is stack items anywhere else besides conquest is kind of obsolete. It's kind of hard to get those stacks unless if you're just a cold-hearted killer, and you get those last hits in KS and whatever the case may be. Then it'd be all right. But most of the time the matches don't last long if they're not conquest. So just keep that in mind. But the typical thing to get in conquest is Heartseeker. Some may argue that Transcendence may be better, or Devourer's Gloves, which I think those two have higher damage output, I believe. At least the Gauntlet. But the thing with Heartseeker, it's a high risk, high reward type of deal. If you notice, if you die, your stacks are cut in half. So if you're one to, if you know you're going to die more than twice in a match, then you might as well not have Heartseeker, because it just becomes useless if you keep dying, and it's a really useless item if you keep dying. Just keep that in mind. It's like, hey, I died like 5 times already in the past 20 minutes. This is no use to me. So grab the other stack items like Transcendence or the Gauntlets. So next, I'd like to pick up Executioner. It's my personal favorite for hunters as like my third or fourth. Mainly because you get that more penetration early on in the game. Attack speed and power is also really great to have. Fairly cheap items, so Executioner is always on the list as far as items. Now Aussie, I didn't really mean to leave this here. I was testing some things out, but you can switch this out with Shin size if you want. the thing with not having Aussie or any other lifesteal item as a hunter is more of personal preference, but I still like to have, you know, one lifesteal item as a hunter or an assassin. So just having no lifesteal items, it's kind of ballsy, I guess you can say, because I don't know, as Anhur you can escape really well. It's just a matter of having a good sustained presence in the laning phases of conquest, team fights and whatnot, or any game mode actually. So it's all personal preference. So Aussie or Shin size. Mainly try to get something with attack speed, because without this, like if you go ahead and sell the Aussie, we have 1.5 attack speed, which is not too bad, but we want a little bit higher for overall general increase of damage output. So Shin size or Aussie's really cheap. The gauntlet I was mentioning was Devourer's Gauntlet with the stacks and whatnot. Lifesteal, Empower in place of Heartseeker. As far as just lifesteal, in place of Aussie, Bloodforge, definitely. Yeah, you don't get the attack speed, but you get more power and lifesteal overall. Up to you. Or get Soul Eater if you do want the attack speed. It's just you only have plus 10 power compared to, you know, 40 and up with Bloodforge and whatnot. So these are the items I recommend for that. And of course the last two items, Rage and Deathbringer, as the last you know, icing on the cake for that. So I went ahead and got the full stacks of Heartseeker, because that would have taken a little while for a video. So we have 205 attack power, which is not too bad, and then 1.7 attack speed, which is really good. Works really well with Anhur. So yeah, that's really good power output. And keep in mind these are against minions, not against actual gods. So I'm going to cut these videos a little bit shorter, since it takes a little bit longer to, actually a lot longer to upload. So you may notice they're going to be a little bit shorter. So I'm just going to skip right to Rawbot as I lag my way over here for some strange reason. That gives you a general idea of his damage output. And that's going to end it for this video. Thanks for watching. Wow, that's a lot of lifesteal. Thanks for watching. I see you guys later. Peace.